Hi guys and welcome back! How are you all doing today? Good? Bad? Somewhere in the middle? So today I want to make a video about something I think I have mentioned before, but I'm not 100% sure. But I haven't made a video about it, and that's the fact I am dyslexic. Basically what dyslexic means is like sometimes you struggle with writing things correctly, or you might struggle with reading things. Let me get a definition of this to make sure that I'm saying this correctly. You know you're dyslexic when you don't know how to write dyslexic. Basically it's a reading disorder. It's characterized by trouble with reading despite normal intelligence. Different people are affected by to varying degrees, blah 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 blah. So basically dyslexia means problems with reading, but it can also be problems with writing, which is basically what I have most problems with. So the thing with dyslexia that a lot of people sometimes struggle with understanding and stuff like that is it's a really different compared from person to person. So some people might be affected extremely by dyslexia. They really struggle a lot with reading, and some people have struggled a lot with writing, and some people are affected by both, and completely different things, and also speaking dyslexia as well. So it's a lot of different way to be affected by dyslexia. And for me personally, growing up, I got a lot of help, which was really good, I think, because back in the days, dyslexia was not something that people knew that much about. They usually thought you were just stupid or didn't want to try, but in reality it has nothing to do with your intelligence. It's just your brain just don't want to work with you. My dyslexia is not, I don't have the I don't have the highest degree of dyslexia, if you know what I mean. Like, I struggle mostly with writing things down correctly. I write it as I hear it. So a lot of times when I ask people, so how do I write this down? They're like, oh, just straightforward. And I'm like, really? Here I was thinking I was gonna write it like a little tilted down. So basically for me, when I ask people how do I write it, it means I don't know if it's how to write it, basically, because to me how it sounds to me might be completely different from how you write it. I tried learning French. That didn't go so well. And also a lot of times when I wrote things down, I was like, this is going great, I'm writing it completely correctly. And then I read through it the day after, I'm like, what was I trying to write down? So I know with myself, if I have when I had an essay to write or something like that, I did it a lot better when I could have time to do it. Or had somebody to read through it, just to make sure that the sentence made sense, if you know what I mean. Because not always, it wasn't just is the letter correct, it's just sometimes the whole sentence did not make sense at all. And I also have problems with, I also sometimes struggle a lot with when I'm supposed to use a comma and when I'm supposed to use a dot. And so that can be sometimes I have really extremely long sentences, and then no commas, and then suddenly have a lot of commas. And today is still something I struggle with. And I got a lot of help with it, but my brain is just like, we don't know. Not today. And so a lot of times that might make sense a lot longer than it needs to, and sometimes just a sentence in itself doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And for example, in high school I failed my nynorsk test, my exam, so I had to retake that. So just, I didn't, in high school, I had to retake one of my exams because I failed. It was a horrible day. I felt horrible with myself when I failed that. But at the second time around, I passed. If you wonder what nynorsk is, in Norway we have two written languages. We have nynorsk and we have bokmål. It's just a little bit different way to write it, but especially for me is dyslexic. That was really hard. Basically because, you know, it's written quite similar, but at the same time it's a little bit different. So I had a tendency to write it in Swedish for some reason. Oh, it's snowing outside. But yeah. So, example, I had in university, I had law classes, and when I had time to write the assignment, I had no problems. I got really good grades on that. But as soon as it was a test that had like a certain time stamp on it, but like maybe you have to sit for 1 hour and write it, I struggled and I can barely pass, because then I didn't have the time to like read through it one more time to make a sentence and made sense, if you know what I mean, because of the fact that in law the sentences are a bit like strangely put up together. Yeah, like I said, I got a lot of help with my dyslexia in is it middle school for you guys? Barneskola. I'm just gonna double check. Okay, in primary school, I don't know if that's like the same age. At least you start when you're like 6 years old and up. But in primary school, I got a lot of help. I got taken out of class to get extra help with this. I usually struggled with DTPB. If it's a, and then in Norwegian we have the og or å, which means it's an and, but it's just different ways of using it. So I struggled a lot with the og og and å, which that was something I really struggled with. I still struggle with that. I don't struggle that much with the P and T and stuff like that. Don't really have a lot of problems with that anymore, but that was a big issue when I was younger because I always wrote it wrong. And so I got taken out of class, and funnily enough, I never got bullied for this. I got bullied for a lot of other things, but I never got bullied for the fact that I got taken out of class to get extra help with stuff, which I thought was actually really good. I think we were like 5 people getting taken out of class with like different type of like reasons why we got taken out of class. So so one of the reasons, so I struggled with learning cursive really a lot, because I think you have cursive and then you have print, if I'm not completely wrong. I write in cursive now, I still do that, but for the longest amount of time I wrote with just big letters. That's it. And I got told that I had to learn to write either in cursive or print at some point before going into middle school. So I tried really hard to learn cursive. I don't know why I chose cursive, but that's what it ended up being. And what I did is, this might actually be a good thing if you struggle with the same thing. This is just an example of what you can do. It's just, let me see. This is just a poem I wrote. To travel the world, to adventure time, to seek the truth, to live the life, and not to forget, have fun. and do not forget to have fun. I am so extremely good at writing poems. No, I'm just kidding. But what I did was I was tracking the letter to learn how to write it. So I had books where they had like the cursive writing with how you wrote it, just all the way down. And then I would track the letters and how to do it. And that's how I learned to write cursive. It took time for me. So when I first learned cursive and they told me, you have to learn print as well, I was like, no. You have to choose. Either cursive or print. I'm not learning both. So I didn't have the possibility. I tried, but I didn't, after learning cursive, that was kind of I didn't have the patience, you know, to like learn both cursive and print. I have used such a long time to learn cursive. So that was enough for me. So I still write cursive, and like you see, you can barely understand what's saying there, but yeah. So that was one of the things I was struggling with. I also had struggle with learning time, like on the clock. I never had problem with military time, but learning time like on the watch, I had a lot of, I don't have my watch right now. I don't know where it is, but I had actually a lot of struggle. Apparently I can't speak today. I had a lot of struggles, and one word there, insert correct word, with learning the time as well. I don't know if that had anything to do with my dyslexia or just me being lazy. I don't know, but I had no problems with military time. That's something I was like still, I could have no problems with that. But learning the time on the watch for me was a bit of a struggle. So what we did in one of our classes, we made a watch with wood, and where you can like switch the times. You can like the pointers, when you have around, you could like take them down, and you can like say, okay, what time is it now? What time is it now? What time is it now? And that's how I learned time on the watch. Still to this day, I am a little bit like, okay, this is the time. I don't have a problem with reading it, but sometimes my brain is like, okay, all right, this is what, yeah, It's a little bit of a watch in my tick, 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 tick. But that's how I learned to read time on the watch. Just a little tip, so if you know somebody struggles with this, or you might have children that struggle with this, it's a good idea sometimes that, because some children learn by doing. So if you have, I don't think a lot of people have this type of watch, but because we made it, I don't have it. I was trying to find it at home, but I couldn't find it. But it was a watch where you could basically just the times, yeah. The arrows. Maybe I should get my watch. I'm gonna try to show you guys what I mean by the handmade watch. So you see the watch here. I had a watch that was about this big, made out of wood. So you could move the time showing. This one you can move around, and it would ask me what time is it when the big one is on 12 and the small one is on 10. What time is it then? And then I was like, okay, this is this. That's how I learned it. Yeah. So that's just a suggestion that how you can do it, or have a broken watch that you can like turn the times with, and then they will be able to maybe learn that way. It's just a way for them to use their hands to be able to like learn it that way. That's the same with like how I learned cursive. It was just an easier way for me to learn it by following the letters. So I think one thing that really helped me not get too bad of dyslexia is Harry Potter. And by that is that our teacher started to read Harry Potter for us out loud in class when it came out. And I loved the book, so I got really interested. And they used to take us to the movie premieres and stuff like that. Well, in my hometown, so it wasn't that big, but we went to like the movie and stuff like that, and she read it out loud in class. But at one point, of course, they had to stop reading because we had to actually do work. But I wanted to keep on reading, so I got the books myself and had to read. So I got really into reading because of Harry Potter, and that personally for me helped a lot. And to this day, I'm like internally great words. I am super grateful for that I actually bothered to read and do this, and I found a story that I was so into that I wanted to read more, and got through my like panic about reading something and did it. So that's why my little YouTube book where I write down my ideas and videos is in a little Hogwarts book, so I will never forget. You know. So yeah, I got taken out in class and got help for that, and I think I am so grateful for that, because like I said earlier, back in the days you usually got labeled as stupid, if you struggle with dyslexia and or learning disabilities. As soon as there's something like that, you're like, no, you're just stupid. But when I grew up, you actually got the help that you needed. Because I know, like my dad, he struggles a lot with dyslexia, but he never got the help that he needed in school. And you can see the difference because I actually got help. And I didn't, after primary school, when I went over to middle school, they did discuss if I was supposed to be taken out of class or not taken out of class. And they ended up with me not getting taken out of class. But we were quite a big class. We had 60 students. I don't know if it's called students in primary school. I mean middle school, probably not, but anyway. And because of the fact that we were such a big class, they had to split us up into groups. Well, the first year we were just one big class the whole year. Because we were not actually at school. We were in a building a little bit further down. Because they weren't prepared at all for us to come there. They should have been. But they're like, maybe like, yeah, 10 years to prepare this. But they weren't prepared for us to come. So we had a classroom, not actually in the school building, but a little bit further down. But that was actually quite a good classroom. It was really wide instead of like long. So the teacher were able to like walk back and forth, and still everyone was able to like listen and hear what they were saying. And we got quite connected to each other because it's only us down there. And but the second year they got room for us up in the actual school. And they asked us if we wanted to be split up into groups or not. And of course we didn't want to get split up to groups, because then or split up the two classes, because we are A and B together, because we're A, B, C, D, E, F, yeah, all those classes. But we were A and B together. But we had been together for a year, so we didn't really want to split up. But the problem was this classroom we then got was really long, and 60 students in a long classroom does not work. I can tell you that now. And so they figure out, okay, they have to split them up into groups in different kinds of subjects. I think it was math, English, and yeah, something else as well. They didn't tell us and that it was based upon your knowledge and stuff like that, but we kind of figured. we weren't stupid, but I did not mind that at all. I was in the group with like the lower intelligence, well, not lower intelligence, but the one that struggles the most. And I had no problems with that. I loved it, because I felt like everyone in that room were on the same level as me. And that helped a lot, because then it felt like I could actually say something in class, compared to if I'd been like 60 students and I felt like everyone was better than me. So they said like, oh no, that's not the reason at all. And we're like, we're not stupid. But fair enough. So I was in the group with like the ones that were struggling a little bit more. But I felt like that actually helped me a lot. But yeah, so that is something that for me has helped. Was reading a lot, and I got the help that I needed, and that we got split into groups, you know, in middle school and stuff like that. And it also really helps having friends that doesn't look down on you every time you ask, how do I write this? For example, my roommate, Trina, she knows I'm dyslexic, so every time I ask her, can you just proofread this for me? Especially if it's a video I'm putting up and I'm writing something down, she has no problem with that. And thank you, Trina. And it's just because a lot of times it's just me being insecure about what I'm writing down, because my dyslexia is not that severe, but it's still there. Like, I struggle a lot with like writing things correctly sometimes. But a lot of times it's just in my mind, and it just helps to have somebody look over what I've been writing down. And I have had so many people telling me, oh, I've also struggled with dyslexia, and I have never, you just have to trust yourself. And I'm like, that doesn't really help me at all, that you tell me that, because I know that, but I still kind of need the reassurance that I have written it correctly. And sometimes I haven't written it correctly. I might have mixed English and Norwegian. And that happens quite a lot, and sometimes I'm really insecure. Is it 2 M's here, or just 1 M? And it's just, yeah, that can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes. And actually another thing I struggled with when I was younger, my mom told me, I've forgotten about this, I pronounced things wrong. When I was younger, I pronounced it, okay, let me take a word that's the same in Norwegian and English, which is arm. I pronounce it amr. So I made the word more difficult. just to be that person. But yeah, so this video was taking a lot more time than what I was planning to, but I kind of feel like it's an important subject. Because it's not something I talk about from a day-to-day basis. I'm not like, hi guys, welcome back, I'm dyslexic. So the fact that I just wanted to share this with you, that yes, I am dyslexic, but I still have a bachelor degree. I still got through school. I am still able to speak English. So yes, my English is terrible sometimes, let's not shrug that under a rug, but it's just, even though I struggle with dyslexia, does not mean I'm gonna give up. And I have really good friends that helps me when I ask them, can you just proofread this for me, or when I ask how do I write the sentence, and they know that it doesn't help for them to say, oh, you're just straightforward. They know I'm gonna be like, yeah. So it always helps to inform your friends that you are dyslexic if you ask a lot, like I do. And then it might help them as well to understand why you might sometimes struggle. And take the time that you need, you know. If you need the extra help, you need the extra help. And it's no shame in that whatsoever. Take the help that you can get. And if you're struggling with reading, for example, do it slowly. Slowly. Read a paragraph a day. You don't have to rush it. Because it sometimes feels like, oh, I'm never gonna learn this, I'm never gonna learn this, but you just have to take your time. No rush whatsoever. And yeah. And I kind of forgot to mention that I still struggle with dyslexia to this day. It's just that since I got a lot of help, and because of the fact that I've loved reading as younger, I'm not affected as much as I probably would have been if I hadn't gotten all the help. But to this day, I still, you know, I write things wrong, I don't know how to write it, or I might read it a little bit wrong, but I don't have struggled a lot with that, but and sometimes I'd say the sentence completely wrong when I say it, so, you know. But it's just that I just wanted to make this video to tell everyone that dyslexia is not something to be embarrassed about. A lot of people have it, and it's in different degrees. You might struggle a lot with it, and somebody else might struggle just a little bit with it. And it is nothing to be ashamed of. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Sorry, I just wanted to chime in to say that. Let me end this video now. I hope this was a bit learning experience. I don't know. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will hopefully see you guys soon.